Hello people, and welcome to another episode of Spice My City. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today, we are going to ask the question, is it possible to detail with no mods or DLC? And the answer to that question is no. This is a map sent in by subscriber Tomáš, and as stated in the title, there is no mods or DLC active on this save. Which makes detailing very, very difficult. The only things we really have to work in our advantage are the roads and the assets. We only have vanilla pathways to work with, which aren't too bad, but it's not much variation. So, yeah, I'm not promising that this is going to be good or entertaining, but I thought it would be fun to try and do this totally. The definition of vanilla, right? No DLC, no mods. Just the base game as it came out 6 years ago. So, some brief analysis of what's happening here. No attention has been paid into asset placement. We can see we've got one by one zonings here. There's a fair bit of traffic in the city, so we might be able to use the traffic to decorate. I guess we'll see, right? Or we can pass it on to Biffa after we've finished. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking we really have to use the roads and the assets in order to decorate this city, right? Because there's no fences, there's only 2 paths, things are dire. So there's rocks too, but we can't make any rock gardens because there's no fence. So I guess we'll just kind of see. So we can have a little discussion about an initial spice sample for the episode, alright? So we're coming down into the city, and with these 2 one-way roads that are feeding off the highway. And I think maybe we can have a little discussion about some in-between pathways and then line it with bushes. I'm not sure. Maybe a larger tree. I think a larger tree might be a little more appealing, right? We kind of bring these down here, right? So there's very, very basic possibilities as to what we can do with the central spine of the city here. And then thinking possibly some arterial decoration straight down the middle here if we upgrade this road. Straight the way down to, there is a little lake over here, which would have made a perfect little green cities park, but there's no green cities, so we can't do that. Okay, cool. Alright then, let's dive into it. Let's see what we can do with no mods and no DLC detailing, shall we? Okay, so I think we're going to start detailing out from this central road down towards the lake and start to work with this idea. So we'll clear away all the assets that will stop the road from upgrading, which includes an elementary school, 2 elementary schools actually, a public library, and a botanical garden, and possibly this Japanese garden too. Alright, and then we're going to upgrade this into a fancy 4-lane with decorative trees. And there's probably going to be quite a lot of reworking in the city here, just to get it to to try and look like a little bit detailed. We also want to clear up all the zoning off of this main road as well, because we'll place our own in. So actually just kind of clear back a big chunk of zoning. It's probably easier with the brush tool actually. Alright, let's take all this away. And then we'll see what we can do here. So it's actually bending off on a slight angle. It looks like it is, but I don't think I'm adverse to that. And there's also a ton of traffic lights as well. So we'll start clearing up a few of these road connections too. Don't want too many along this space. Over here as well. Possibly here. Like, we can bring the road against road action in, of course, but try and keep the arterial free for as long as possible. And then we'll clear this one up too. Alright, let's take away these 1x1s at the end. And then let's see what we can do here. Okay, so the challenge begins. The challenge begins. Okay, so let's grab ourselves a smaller road. Let's go for a nice little 2-lane road with grass, alright? And let's take away a touch more of this. This as well. And I guess we'll start upgrading some of these dirt roads into concrete as well. Is for a little bit, so actually take it away and draw it out without angle and road length on initially, which will allow us to place our school a little easier. Okay. So we'll have our library over here. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll place this down here. Okay. I think just separating it away from the road is always a nice thing to do. And we can maybe bring a little centralized pathway down from that, of course, with no road length. Okay. So we also lost a Botanical Garden as well. Now there is a train line here. Does this currently have any stations hooked into it? No, so this isn't running. So Tomáš has built a fairly significant train network over here. But I'm guessing they're just taking intercity trains. Yeah, they must be doing. Yeah, okay, so he's got a metro line hooked in here. Where is this going? Okay, so this goes over here as well, as does the train station. Okay. There's a fair few people using this elevated walking path as well. Must be murder on the quads. Coming down this slope. Okay, there's buses. So it's got a nice little busy metro station here. And we can probably alleviate some of the pressure off that with the train system as well, which we will do. So let's have a little look at that. Again, let's just keep tidying up some of these zonings a little more. And let's come on to road guideline. Might be a little tricky in this space because there's so many of them. Okay. So we can run a train line as part of our decoration. We also just lost a Japanese garden. Let's not forget to reinstate that too. So I think already, even with just the introduction of an arterial road and a train line, we're seeing a little more importance and design around the main street here. There's also buses running through the area, so those are going to help detail up the side of our roads as well. However, with the absence of fences, I want to have a little chat about what we can do to maybe decorate the front of the library. And because we don't have fences, we can basically use pathways as fences, I think. Let's double check our measurements here. We're by 700. So I can't imagine a lot of these tips will be massively useful for a lot of you guys because, I mean, I think everyone has the DLCs at this point, right? If you don't, shameless plug, there are links down in the description to Instant Gaming where the DLCs are ridiculously cheap now. So we could almost use the pathways as a little boundary, alright? Got some people moving around here now. And of course some specific zoning of commercial to start complementing the main street here. Let's get some 4x4s and some 4x3s in, alright? See what happens here. We've of course taken away a couple of parks, so let's maybe pop in with a tennis court here and there. Pop up a basketball court as well. He is playing with the European theme on, so we have a couple of different options. Let's just see what starts to develop down this road. We'll definitely want to historical a few of these buildings as well. Unfortunately we get the two worst commercial assets in, of course. This one's nice though, I do like the drugstore. Let's continue to satisfy some of that commercial demand. Alright. But the buses are getting a little bit of use anyway. Should see some more people walking back and two now. Let's have a look at factoring in that train station. So the road, it does kind of veer off on a slight angle, but I don't think I mind that. I think that's alright. It's kind of a very slight bend. You can just see it down this lateral line. It's just got a very slight curve in it, but I think we can work with that. So we could use the train station, again, as high street decoration, if that's what we wanted to do. Maybe have it here. Let's place it in and see what we think. We'll of course need to adjust some of the residential zoning around that. But I think, you know, we can use it as decoration because it's an important looking asset. Let's go ahead and put these back in too. We'll also trim off a bunch of this zoning around the back of it. Okay, all this as well. Get this to go away. We can probably develop some green belt around here, I imagine. And let's get those... Oh no, so many random zonings appearing. Okay, let's get those train lines running. So we'll start from here. And then it can stop through here. So he can continue this train line up into the hills as well if he wants to. I guess we'll kind of see how far we get in this city today. Alright. So we should hopefully see these trains come in. There's a lot of buses here. Why? It's 163 at one stop. Alright, yeah, so the buses are getting slammed. The buses are really busy. 185 over here. Could probably do with an underground metro system really to help support those buses. See how our high street's coming on here? Yeah, happy with these. Keep them historical as they go. We'll let that one grow up so it's not the same right next door. But these are all growing up. Alright. We're going to see our trains coming through here now as well, which is nice. Make sure that is unzoned. There's a little bit of industrial demand as well, so let's flesh out with some offices as well around this little park. Let's also have a look at possibly introduction of a large playground opposite. And then we can use this as an excuse to introduce some organic green belt into the area. Alright, just of course we can merge these paths out of the asset itself, alright. Let's bring these down, of course, tally up some of this nasty zoning too. I think this video is really going to be a testament as to how far Cities Skylines has come with the DLCs and the workshop. Kind of looking back to this very unusual looking game that came out in, was it 2015 or something? I think it was, wasn't it? Alright, so we'll merge a couple of park assets together and then of course expand those assets with the trees that come with it. And we'll hopefully just see a little bit of a organic looking park without the use of park life, of course. To sit opposite the train station. You could also knock the train station back onto its own line, but we'll see how that performs. But it is getting a little bit of use now, of course, and we can actually link the back of the train station in with pathways as well. Do excuse me if you just heard that little squeak. Coco is playing with a toy under the desk, and I think the mic probably picked that up. A little giraffe just squeaked. Alright. So they will use these pathways to get back into from the platform. Okay. A little bit of office zoning coming in now as well, but I think the high street's starting to pick up a little. It's starting to develop a little more personality, isn't it? So we did delete some elementary schools, but his demand is weighing above what he actually needs it to be. So I think we'll relocate this one onto the main street. Again, just because it's going to help us decorate, and we need every little helps in this city, right? Okay, got some traffic here too. So yeah, is this the first entry point into the city? Yeah, let's just turn these traffic lights off and see what happens. Again, we know we're not here for a traffic fix. What is the percentage at the minute? 77. Yeah, the highways are pretty intense here, coming out of the industrial area. Okay. But you know, we'll try and not make it any worse anyway. So I think Main Street's looking a little nicer now. Some of those zonings and whatnot. Let's have a look at some possible other service assets. How are we doing for police and fire? Where is the nearest police station? Okay. So we can maybe have a police station on the corner. Also want to upgrade these roads coming off of the main arterial into tarmac roads. So I think the dirt road aesthetic really takes away from what we want it to look like, I think. And then again, where we have a lot of these zonings. I don't really want to start clearing out too much of the road network. But I think specifically with a vanilla detailed city, we really have to rely heavily on the road network to detail for us. So if we need to rip it out, then we will do, or upgrade into different things too. Start introducing a slightly higher tree palette and just start bringing some green belt between our main street and the surrounding residentials. Just get some bushes in here as well. Some of these larger ones. I do miss these larger bushes. We use them in Biguzia. Alright. So again, for me at least, these little 1x1 houses, this is a level 5 one. Yeah, it is, well, nearly level 4. But they just look so strange. Like, it really takes away, which is why we specifically zone, right? This is a prime example of why we specifically zone everything up. Okay, looks like this traffic's cleared out down the bottom now, has it? Yeah, okay, that's flowing fine. Alright, and then how about, rather than zoning on this bit here, we introduce a little bit of kind of introductory green belt into the town. Let's leave a tile between, and perhaps go for a little bit of green tree spice over the main street. Just to flank those pathways. Could be a nice little introduction into the town. Okay, rather than just having zoning everywhere. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. I've been exposed to my reliance on Park Life, everyone. Park Life and Green Cities made my channel. If it wasn't for them, we would not be here today. Alright, but I think this is kind of coming together now. Yeah, it just needs fences, doesn't it? It just needs fences. Okay, so we've developed a little bit of a main street. So the overall suburb, it's fairly erratic, and the shape isn't nothing too bad, it's just kind of fairly straight rectangles. But again, we're switching between dirt and tarmac all the time. And how is the zoning looking? Yeah, you see there's like a little 1x2 here next to a 3x3, and there's child healthcare in there as well, and back it up onto the rails here. How are these guys not suffering from noise pollution? This must be a loud station, right? Yeah, I'm very surprised these guys aren't complaining of that. They should be. Right opposite a train station like that. So in terms of what we want to do with the main street, because I'm not huge on the zoning along this main entry road, I would rather turn this into some road against road action if we want to have buildings facing out onto this main spine. Which will help the traffic as well, with people not stopping and starting on this road. Not that it's majorly bad down here at the minute anyway, but as it continues to grow, it will get worse. So there's a high school here, alongside a couple of bus stops, and there's some fairly grim zoning happening here. So let's start clearing out a little block here, alright? Let's take away all this stuff. Let's get rid of this as well. And then let's have a look at possibly introducing a school park into the area. See what we can do. So let's come on to angle and road length out to about here. Let's go on to road guideline as well. We'll hook that in. Let's now move our high school over to here. Now, do we have the gymnasium? No, I think that's Green Cities that brings the gymnasium, isn't it? Alright, and so how about we maybe partner up with a child healthcare centre, which we could put here. There is already one over there. Maybe let's have a look at something else. Probably a basketball court then, maybe. Maybe a little plaza. A little plaza with picnic tables, perhaps. Alright. Kind of bring these two together, and then we will start introducing... I feel like we should maybe use some of the regular... Which one's this called? Gravel path? Pavement path? I do just feel as though it's maybe underusing it a little bit. Switch up to dirt as we hook into here. Alright, and then we probably don't need to amend the bus stop here. What is what is this bus doing? It's a long one, isn't it? It's a long, long bus stop, this. I would probably suggest you rip this out for underground metro, because the buses are really struggling to handle this many people. Is this a separate line? Yeah, this is a separate line. This one's only got 8, hasn't it? Hold on, let's have a look. Oh yeah, there's 1,000 bus lines in the city. So this is the busy one that we saw. And which one's this one? In some kind of European district here. Yeah, so there is underground metro. You do have an underground metro network. So we give them a connection through there as well. Again, we'll just help complement them with some specifically zoned commercial, just to help sit up against the back of the school. Get a few different varying shapes in, and then we can just start to introduce a touch of the old faithful, that green belt that's starting to appear around the city. It's a very, very limited green belt. There's not much option with it, but we'll do what we can, right? Also bringing a little dirt connection there too. And then if we just kind of sit up now as we drive along this main road, we've just got a little more decoration with the school and the plaza set next to each other. That should help decorate the main spine too. Oh dear, there's on fire. Okay, so there's a few designs like this we can keep running along the spine. What's happening here? So again, very erratically zoned up and against the main road as well. So why don't we have a little discussion? Is there any uniques that you haven't used? All of them. All of the uniques are available. Yeah, literally every single one as well. Besides the department store. Where's the department store? Yeah. Okay, yeah, in the European area. Alright. So maybe we can do something with the unique here. Again, so I'm gonna rip everything out. Let's take away all the dirt roads. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a road on our road length again. Of course, let's switch something a little fancier. Alright, and then we'll bring some classic road against road action in. Maybe down here too. Alright, start manipulating a little bit of a road network to accommodate what we want to work with here today. Maybe even bring a connection out here and put these guys in there too. So let's have a look at a unique. There's a few plazas here. We won't use the industry one, that's a fairly nice one. There's the Lazarette Plaza, which is always nice. I feel like that might work nicely over by our main street though. Probably find a place for it, maybe up next to the train station somewhere. Possibly, we'll see. We have keys in the vanilla game, right? Yeah, we could possibly key up the lake as well. Unsure. Unsure. Let's go for the Plaza of the Dead, which will help level everyone up too. Let's also start getting in some specific zonings along here. And again, we can do some nice bordering path network stuff if we come onto our vanilla one. We'll get some slight torn textures, but again, it's all places where we can come in with that tree palette and just help to accommodate them a little easier, if it will accept me. There we go. Okay, let's go for maybe a couple of plazas either side. Then we can bring a road behind and box this in. And then we can get some more specifically zoned commercials to help sit around this little plaza. Alright, let's go for some nice big 4x4s. And then what's happening over here? Yeah, we can possibly get a little elevated path network into the industry. Get people crossing over the water, which I think we'll do. So let's maybe come out from here. Let's come down on our elevation step as well. We can just get a nice little pathway over the water, which will give us some nice old creek vibes too. And then we can just link this in. And we'll see how many people begin to use that as well. If anything, this video really highlights how much better the art life paths are than the vanilla ones, right? We got pennies in, that's always appreciated. We like a pennies. Let's stay with that one. And again, likewise with this as well. So I think we can see the difference that specifically zoning around a little commercial plaza makes for us. And this is a really nice combination of assets as well. Plaza with picnic tables and Plaza with the Dead work, almost merge really nicely into each other too. So there's some vanilla decoration for the extreme hardcore vanilla player base. If you guys even still exist. But again, even coming back now against down the spine of the city, you can just see a little more importance and design putting into a little plaza that flanks along here too, right? There's a couple of folks picking up this path now as well. Very nice. So hopefully we can start to see the difference that this makes now. We want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on these assets too. I don't mind this one. This one's nice. And this one's okay as well. So all these pathways starting to be picked up a little bit more now. We can just see things beginning to develop a little easier, I think anyway. Definitely don't want asset repetition in, so we'll wait for a few of these to level up. Like this one's just changed now, so we can start with that one. And this one's going to change too. Hopefully into something not grim. Yeah, I don't mind that one. It's okay. But I think it's alright. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. So in terms of the rest of the suburban layout, again, without ripping out a lot of the road network, it's difficult to run with specific zoning. We just kind of have a little glance over what's happening here. Yeah, so because of the angle of the road, which is fine, like, you know, you can go for an organic road layout, but it loses the ability to specifically zone. Which ends up with, or you can just not specifically zone. So maybe if we just start tidying up some of the uglier patterns around here, start getting rid of some of these. We don't like this. This is a terrible asset. Let's delete that and let it regrow, and we'll stop it from hitting that level. Take away a few of these as well. And then let's just see what a difference refining the zoning makes in a couple of different places, okay? So rather than ripping out the road network, because when we did Casino City a couple of weeks ago, I had a little bit of feedback like you basically just deleted his city. So I'm trying not to like totally rebuild everything in my vision. So I guess this will be a nice experiment in what a difference tidying up these awkward zonings can make. And of course we can come back through with pathways and trees and stuff and refine out so what we want it to be. Okay, I think we'll relocate this onto the main street. Let's have it over there, which should hopefully serve us with another pathway opportunity. Come onto our straight road tool. Okay. It's very interesting as well just to see how shallow the pool of commercial assets was pre-DLCs. You kind of almost neglect what's been added over the years when you come back to this vanilla. Okay, that's looking slightly better now, isn't it? Where are the bus stops here? Let's move this bus stop back a little bit. Just so they're not stopping so close to the edge of the road. Put them in the middle. That will help decorate the road as well, having the little bus stop cut into the pavement like this. Okay, send a few more people down this pathway too. So I think I want to carry on decorating the central spine, and I think the dirt path is certainly the way to go. I'm not... Oh, then again, I do like... I think the gravel one looks maybe a little bit better. I think we just run with the alternated... I think these are beech trees, right? Yeah, small beech, okay. So yeah, let's get this established then, straight the way through the middle here, up until where we'll stop working on. And then just see how this very vanilla repeated pattern fits in with the overall theme. Okay, so let's discuss the front of this train station. So we have a Japanese garden in here, mix and match of commercial and residential zoning, and a police station as well. So of course, let's dezone it all, because it's not not nicely decorated, which is the point of the series, right? So let's take away the Japanese garden. And then let's do something a little more important with the front of our train station here, okay? So we'll take away the police station too. Let's get rid of all these guys. And these as well. So we've got a nice opportunity to generate some nice plaza spice as we kind of come into this part of the city with the train station here. So it's definitely something we want to take advantage of. Let's take away all this as well. And then we will upgrade this up until we get to the edge of the train station. We will then switch into a grassy road. And then go back into the regular one. So we get the pedestrian crossings. So what do we want here? So the terrain is a little uneven, which could work in our favor. If we were to terraform here and bring in some layers of height against the road, how would we feel about this? And have like a little sunken plaza. I think we can go for that. Although we do have too much soil, so let's just go and throw some into the foothills over here, alright? We really want it on the level of the train station. Okay, yeah, so the cut won't be that big. Let's play with this idea initially. Let's get rid of this guy too. And then this road as well. Alright. And then that's about as much as it's going to cut away. So that's fine. Let's bring that road again. And let's have a look again at a possible unique building. To sit out the front of this, the neighbourhood park is always a good shout. These are getting more into the downtown vibes. That's with the servers. Should we put this here? That'll be fine. No, let's not do that. Let's go for Lazarette Plaza, perhaps. Does something centralise? Statue of Wealth. I don't want to use too many of his unique buildings because you might want to use them elsewhere. But there's not that much choice without the DLCs. Okay. That's not bad. Let's start to bring the surrounding road network across the back of this. Yeah, so that won't centralise either. Okay, I wonder if we just bin off the idea of having a unique building here then. Let's maybe just run with regular park assets instead. This won't fit either, will it? Oh, that will fit there though. But the break in terrain really affects the asset, so maybe not. That doesn't centralize. Nothing nothing centralizes, it's fine. Alright, let's go for police station instead. Mixed in with a touch of commercial. With some pathways in between. And we'll start to see what we can do to develop some nice themes around our train station here. So I think we'll manipulate the road network ever so slightly. Start bringing in some road against road action. And then we can go for another Japanese garden again, perhaps. Over here, again mixed in with some commercial zoning. Then how about we generate just the cutest little office park here as well. Of course, sticking to our greenbelt palette for the episode. Alright. Even connect these guys in at a few places here where the buses are stopping. Yeah, the traffic is intense here. That's fine though. Don't worry about that. Okay, so we got one of the taller assets in immediately, and I don't hate this one. Whether or not it's the vibe I'm particularly after, I'm not quite sure. Guess we'll see. I'm supposed to start spamming a little bit of natural green belt to sit around this area too, right? Lots of bushes. Maybe a couple of these thick boys as well, with the chunkier ones. Alright, couple of clusters of green tree is always appreciated. Especially with the office assets. Okay, there we go, that's a nicer looking one, let's go for that. Okay. And it would probably make sense to bring the buses down here as well. Yeah, this is a really strange bus system. There's like, they're crossing over onto the same roads as each other. It's very, very confusing to look at. Alright, let's bring the stops through here. Is this on a different line? No, it's not, is it? Can't really tell. I'll have another one there. And then can we delete that one? Just so we get the buses coming into our little plaza square here, alright? And this is all residential, right? Yeah, let's get rid of the residential here. This takes away from our vibe fairly significantly. And again, we can start to do some path gardens, which I think will be the new spice discovery on the channel, right? Maybe spice of the month in the Discord for those that are in there. Path gardens. Path gardens are the new rock gardens. Alright. Little simple green tree plant through here too. That should give us a nicer aesthetic and overview over our train station, I think. Okay. Possibly. Unsure. Unsure. There was a path here, right? Yeah, this is linking people through to the metro. Let's make sure that we bring this back in. Let's come out here. Okay. I will just say a quick note about this series as well, guys. Don't paint your districts out too big. It's a point of redesigning kind of a few specific areas and templates rather than half your city. Such as little kind of modular micro builds like this within the map that we can work on. For example, I can't redesign all of this because then it becomes rebuild my city and not spice my city. So I think that feels like a good place to jump into a detailing time lapse. I'm not gonna try and rip out too many of these road networks because you guys kind of fed back that wasn't really what you wanted to see last episode. So I'm gonna continue to trim up these bad zonings, like these ones here, alright? And then introduce, like a 4x4 is going to be fine there. That'll be absolutely perfect. Likewise here too. So yeah, try and tidy up as much of these awful zonings as we can, like the really nasty shaped ones. And continue to bring as many pathways as we can to increase the walkability of the city, including here as well. And then probably drop in another kind of modular block to sit opposite the rail station here, and get rid of all of these. Get rid of these ones here. Nasty, nasty 1x1 commercial zonings. Should be illegal. But yeah, let's jump into a detailing time lapse. Let's see what we can do with the rest of this city. Now we've kind of got our vanilla juices flowing, if you will. And then we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, a like below is always appreciated. If you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Super tricky challenge today. Detailing with no mods and no DLC. It's very hard. It's yeah, certainly a very different game, I think, that today's video has highlighted there than the one that launched in 2015 to the one that we have now. The DLCs and all the assets and tools that have been added with those updates have really changed the way we build our cities. I think if you compare something like this to the start of Palaven, even the difference that something like the Interest DLC can make to the start of a town is night and day. It really is. Hang around for the outro tag. I will include some before and after cinematics of the work we've done today. And I think it should look quite nice, at least on the areas we've worked on. But yeah, otherwise I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.